Imagine this. You wake up, scroll through your usual business news sites, and bam! A headline jumps out at you. BYD is about to dethrone Tesla in the EV game. You're like, what? How the hell did a company that used to make phone batteries become one of the most dangerous players in the global car industry? Well, the numbers don't lie. They're selling millions of cars every year. They're dominating markets in over 70 countries. And their factories? Massive, like futuristic cities. Thousands of robots moving with insane precision. But here's the real kicker. They've got quiet backing from the Chinese government. And their goal? Not just electric cars. They want to control the future of energy itself. But here's what we all want to know. How did BYD even start? How'd they get here? And what's the real secret behind their crazy success, while other companies are crumbling? Let's find out, right now. Back in 1995, no one could have imagined that a tiny company in Shenzhen, China, just making rechargeable batteries, would, in less than 3 decades, turn into one of the giants of the global electric vehicle industry. The name?
B.
Short for Build Your Dreams. It all started with a young Chinese engineer, Wang Chuanfu. His dream? It was simple, but powerful. Make China a serious player in clean tech. At first, BYD focused on phone batteries. They were working with big names like Nokia and Samsung. But Wang? He wasn't just thinking about batteries. He started eyeing cars and asking himself, why can't we make electric cars? Why can't China lead this game? Then in 2003, he made a bold move. BYD bought a struggling Chinese car company called Qinchuan. And just like that, their journey into the world of automobiles began. Everyone laughed. A battery company making cars? That's insane! But Wang didn't laugh. He poured every cent of profit into R&D and started building a new factory. Not just to assemble cars, but to design them, build the batteries, the motors, and every single part, all in-house. Then in 2008, they dropped a bombshell. BYD launched the first mass-produced plug-in hybrid car in China, the BYD F3DM. And just like that, the first real step toward the dream was made. Once BYD's name started popping up in the news, there was no ignoring it anymore. The Chinese government, they'd been dreaming for years about becoming #1 in EVs. And now, they saw their shot, and they took it. They didn't just see BYD as some startup. They saw a golden opportunity. A chance to break into the global auto game with force. Support came fast. We're talking tax breaks, easy permits, huge loans with crazy low interest, and a front-row spot in the country's long-term strategy. But the real kicker? They protected BYD inside China. Foreign companies, like Tesla, had to jump through hoops. But BYD? They were sprinting ahead. Factories kept growing, production numbers doubled, and that little idea inside one engineer's head turned into a national mission, backed by a government juggernaut. But it wasn't just about patriotism. The government saw something bigger. BYD wasn't just building cars. They were making batteries, charging systems, and controlling the whole supply chain from start to finish. Bottom line, BYD was the key. And China? They went all in. Back when car companies were all racing to build gas-powered vehicles, BYD was walking a totally different path. They believed the future doesn't belong to who runs faster today. It belongs to the one who understands where the world is going tomorrow. In 2008, when the global financial crisis hit almost everyone, BYD got support from someone you don't ignore, Warren Buffett. Yep, the richest investor in the world at the time. He bet on this almost unknown Chinese company and poured millions into it. Why? Because he saw something special in them. He saw the future of electricity in the eyes of BYD's engineers. That support? It didn't just give them confidence. It was like a new birth certificate. A global announcement saying, hey world, watch out. There's a new star rising from China. While luxury car brands were showing off with big engines and crazy speeds, BYD was quietly building. Building factories, developing batteries, hiring thousands of engineers. But not just any engineers. They were picky, looking for young minds with a dream. A dream that China wouldn't just be the factory of the world, it would be the brain of the world. And while Tesla was stealing the spotlight in the West, BYD was building a giant empire in the East, far from the cameras, but moving with quiet power, like an ocean wave. Slow at first, but when it hits, it crushes everything in its way. BYD's first real test? Electric buses. Singapore, London, LA. Big cities started ordering them, quietly. No flashy headlines. Most people had no idea those buses were made by a Chinese company. They just rolled through Western streets. No shiny logos, no loud branding, but they were stronger, cheaper, and safer. And in just a few years, BYD became the world's biggest electric bus maker. Yep, bigger than those old European and American giants that had been in the game for over 100 years. But BYD didn't stop at buses. They had their sights set on something way bigger, electric cars. And at that time, all eyes were on Tesla, the American giant, the industry disruptor, the king of EVs. But BYD, they moved quietly. Cheaper cars, longer-lasting batteries, a low-key distribution network growing fast, inside China and beyond. Then in 2022, boom! The shock was real. BYD outsold Tesla in global EV sales. Everyone was like, wait, what? How did a battery company outrun Elon Musk? This wasn't just luck. Behind BYD's rise, there was a powerful hand pushing things forward: the Chinese government. From the moment China announced its EV domination strategy, it was clear. BYD was one of the state's top bets. Incentives, tax breaks, massive infrastructure support, and smooth export deals. While American and European companies were fighting red tape, BYD was cruising down a green-lit highway, fully backed by the state. But that's not all. China handed BYD rare resources: lithium, cobalt, and battery factories popping up like mushrooms. The best part? Foreign competitors blocked out of the Chinese market. So basically, BYD was in a race, and everyone else had ankle weights on. After BYD dominated the Chinese market, it was time to go global. But the big question was, is the world ready for a new giant from China? Well, judging by the reactions, the answer was loud and clear. Europe started feeling the heat. The EU launched investigations into China's EV subsidies. Why? Because BYD came in with jaw-dropping prices, solid quality, and next-level after-sales service. In Germany, home of Mercedes and BMW, BYD opened showrooms and started expanding fast. In France, they started calling it the electric Chinese invasion. And in the US, the response was tariffs, baby. Massive ones, meant to stop BYD from undercutting prices in their home turf. But BYD didn't flinch. They started building factories in places like Thailand, Hungary, and Brazil to dodge restrictions and reach the world. And Africa? The one market big players always ignored? BYD saw an opening, rolling out electric buses and public transit at prices no one could match. The message? BYD ain't just a Chinese company anymore. It's a planet-wide beast, and it's playing in the big leagues. Honestly, I've been watching BYD for a while now, and I've got to say, I'm seriously impressed. This Chinese company went from making humble batteries to becoming one of the biggest EV manufacturers on the planet. Their growth? It's not just fast, it's explosive. They're not just competing with Tesla anymore. In some markets, they're actually dominating. And the crazy part? They're still expanding. New factories, new technologies, and a clear vision for the future. From what I see, BYD isn't slowing down anytime soon. In fact, I believe they'll play a huge role in shaping the future of electric mobility, not just in China, but across the globe. But here's the thing I keep thinking about. Without the strong support from the Chinese government, the subsidies, the protection, the massive investments, would BYD have reached this level of success? That's the real question. This is Ahmed Khaled, and I'm just sharing my thoughts.